Alright, let's look at the midterm problem number 12. Alright, so we want to sketch the graph of this function. Alright, first thing we do is it's probably easier if I rewrite it this way. Alright, so this is going to be same thing as y equals e to the, right, it is written as 1 plus x, but you can write it as x plus 1. Right, so e to the x plus 1, and instead of having negative 5 in front, I'll probably put it at the end, so minus 5. Right, so this way we can identify two transformations. Here, this is the first one, so we have a first transformation, and here is the second transformation, so I'm gonna call it number 2. Right, so first we're gonna have to come up with basic function we know how to sketch from. So let's see. So I'm gonna call it original. So original function. All right. So what will be the original function we can start from? You can see that there's an exponential function involved, so it's probably y equals e to the x would be a good place to start, right? Then we list two transformations. So transformations, right? Transformations, right? So I'll probably list two of them, right? So first one here is a horizontal shift. So x plus 1. So this plus 1 actually shift left by 1 unit. Right, and second transformation, this is an intuitive one, subtracting 5, so it's going to actually shift down by 5 units. Right, so let's try to sketch the graph. Right, so you start out with, first x-axis and y-axis. Right, so we know that the exponential function, we know how to sketch e to the x. E to the x is an increasing exponential function. So it looks kind of like this, right? So, and it's go through 1, right? So then after the first transformation, so this was just e to the x. After the first transformation, you will have, so shifted to the left 1 unit, so it's going to go to, so I'm going to use this as a reference point. I'm going to go here, right? Then you will have pretty much the same shape. So you have this exponential function, which looks kind of like this, right? So this is after the first transformation. So this the equation is y equals e to the x plus 1. All right, then after that, we have to shift down by 5 units. So we start from 1 here, so it's going to go down to negative 4. So it's going to 1, 2, 3, 4. So here's negative 4. So here's negative 1. So it's going to go straight down by 5 units. So the reference point is going to go here, right? Then you would probably have the same shape, so it's exponential function, which looks probably something like that, right? So this is a graph of 2, y equals e to the x plus 1 minus 5, right? Then another thing that we have to do is they actually restrict the x value domain. Domain is negative 4 to 2. So here's negative 1, so negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, right? So the graph is actually kind of chopped off at -4, and maybe I should erase the part that we don't need, so I'll erase that. All right, then up to 2, so here's 1, 2, so somewhere around there, 2. So you have the graph is kind of chopped off somewhere around there. All right, so this is the graph of so y equals e to the x plus 1 minus 5. All right, let's look for the graph. All right, so you have the increasing graph. This one is decreasing, so C is not it. This one's also decreasing, so B is not it. All right, so A and D, so they're actually pretty close in the shape, and but you can see that D, the graph does not quite go low enough because they actually go beyond -4. So it should be actually this one. So part A has the correct picture. All right, that's it. I hope that this was clear.